Just let that pop like a big dum-dum. Okay. We'll wait for people to show up before we get super started here. LSD Papa, what's up, man? So glad you could join us. Welcome, by the way. I don't know if we've hung out. Oh, wait, I know the icon for sure. Did you change your screen name by chance? Hello, Squiddy. My dog's here to say hello. He thinks there's real people. They're never real people anymore, though. Doing a quick bag. Good. I'm glad everything seems to be working out okay. LSD, Papa. I am suspect right now in terms of capabilities. Albert Dirth, welcome, man. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us. Oh yeah. Of course, man. I have a strangely, specifically good memory. Believe it or not. Roxy, welcome, Roxy. Thanks for joining us. Lighting it up, indeed. Billery, welcome. And Stephanie, thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you join in on chat. Coughing dog. I thought I'd try something a little different today. And I brought the smoke stuff to us as opposed to going back to it. So I'll wheel it in and do our customary first dab here in just a moment. I already neglected to... I can't remember if I said hello to Billery or not. Welcome, Billery. Glad you could join us as well. Mike Lags, welcome. Mike, thanks for joining in. Mike says, I'm about to spark this J. Traditional. Mike Lags, that is the quintessential perfect afternoon treat. The J. The underrated, always in fashion, good old J. I don't know the last time that I smoked a J would have been. Actually, it's been probably 3 or 4 months since I've actually lit with a lighter weed on fire. Oh, that's kind of melodic sounding. Yeah, I just haven't been mostly just vaping, so I haven't actually used any bongs or bowls or pipes, anything of that nature. Of course, LSD Papa, and thanks again, man. I appreciate you, the kind words, man. That's really nice of you. Roxy R says, is there another word other than light it up when partaking as you are? Sparking, toking. Roxy, the greatest thing about stoners is their endlessly elastic and creative use of the English language when it comes to labeling things. It's a very expressive bunch, and if you're ever out for a laugh, just like look at all. There's like a Wikipedia list that suggests to contain all of the various common nicknames for weed, and it is extensive. Very extensive. I assume some of them have to just be total hoaxes. Hi, yeah, buddy, I know you're here. I know, you're a good dog, but we got people here. Watch out. Okay. So, I promised to dab, wheeling it in. Look at that, how professional. Shit, mouse is on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay. Let's grab a lighter. Oh, then you can't see me. But I can just sit down. What if I just roll it backwards more and then try to stand up? Because I'm going to need to stand up very likely to do this. You know, I thought of everything, but I'm a failure. I do have this, though, that I can do portable stuff dabs on, so that'll be nice. Okay, where are we at on a chat? Gonzo Baptist. What a cool name that is, Gonzo Baptist. That is a striking, contrast in terms. I don't really think of Baptists as gonzos, as a gonzo. How would you use the word? I mean, I know what gonzo means, thanks to our good friend Hunter S. Thompson, who I'm not really convinced was that good of a writer. Good, interesting human being, but... Oh, here's our dab. It's too big for me on this occasion, and you can see this needs to be cleaned by the amount of smoke that's coming off of it and how dirty it is, but judge me later. Anyways, here we go. Wow. This is some kind of... Oh, I almost just poured it out. Excuse me, buddy. Sorry. Ran over my dog. All right. We did it. That was very large. That was bigger than dab than I normally do. Wow. But fun. Okay. Chat times. Gonzo Baptist, who I never even got to his statement, I just got interested in his name, says, sunny evening here in Long Beach. And then LSD Papa says, Long Beach gang. Yes, we are. It is a little bit more temperate today, finally, than it has been in a while. It's actually been balls hot here in Long Beach. Not to talk about the weather, and not to complain about the weather. Everywhere's got it worse than we do. But yes, it is very nice out tonight. Roxy says, I just meant because it's vapor. There's got to be a specific term for lighting up, or for getting high off of vapor that's equivalent to lighting up. But I cannot come up with one off the top of my head. But I'm confident it's there. LSD Papa says that dag is so... That rig is so sick. Wow, I was inserting all kinds of words there. Thanks, man. It actually wasn't that expensive. It was only like 80 or 90 bucks at Amsterdam in Long Beach. Had it for a while now. It's I need to clean it more often than I do. I'm bad about cleaning oil stuff, which is bad because it's the stuff you really want to make sure you have cleaned quite often. It's just so gross. It's just so nasty to clean. And you're always going to get sticky. And sticky is one of the worst things to be. Nobody likes being sticky. Joey, welcome, Joey. All is well here. Hope all is well with you, my friend. Hope everything is okay. Mr. Rommel himself, excuse me, General Rommel himself is here to mix it up in North Africa. I'm not sure I can say welcome, but as far as Nazis go, thanks for tuning in. Gonzo Baptist says, preaching free will. Oh, that is the essence of the Gonzo Baptist way, or is that your way specifically, Gonzo Baptist? LSD Papa says, rather than 95 and gloomy, it's a cool 83. Yes, I've don't have AC in this studio right here, and it's been unbearable these past couple of days, but now, nah, it's not so bad. I can manage. It's late enough. Man, sorry guys. Mr. HS says, is the Puffco peak worth getting? That's a good question, Mr. HS. It depends on how much you love dabbing, and how much you don't hate cleaning. It is like a lot of, there seems to be just a lot of unreliability inherent in tons of weed, especially vape-based products. And that can be, you know, batteries for cartridges, that can be whole rigs, it can be, you know, any number of innovations in between. Just for whatever reason, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of reliability. In my Puffco, I've actually had to replace the atomizer, this thing right here, twice already in like 6 months. And they're not especially cheap. It is a very nice experience, but it does require a lot of maintenance. I mean, a substantial amount of maintenance. You can't really let it build up to the level I had my other thing. Again, the reliability is less than what you'd hope for, especially for something that's not cheap. So I do like it a lot, but unless you are, I don't know, unless you consume a lot of concentrates and you like novelty in the way you do things, or you have plenty of disposable income, you know, it's less clear as a endorsement. But I will go ahead and do our Puffco here. Added some of that same crumble to our Puffco. We'll turn it on, hold a button. Gives you some nice light there, some haptics. You may have heard those nice buzz in there. It's got a lot of motors that vibrates to let you know certain things. One button operation for pretty much everything. You tap once to select your temperature. The little LED shows you the temperature, white the hottest, blue the coolest, with green, red, and white. So I think most people say usually dab on the coolest setting that you can get away with, and then I'm going to go with the second coolest here for the crumble. Maybe you could get away with the blue, but not even going to risk it. Haven't tried it before. And then it's just a double tap to go. Lane plays games. Well, welcome, Lane. We're waiting for this to heat up, so it's got a little light here telling us it's pre-warming. It takes about 20 seconds or so, and then it buzzes again. It says, what kind of dog do you have? Lane plays games. I have 3 dogs, actually. I have a border collie mix, and a Great Dane. It was the border collie that was annoying me. So you can see, pretty nice hit there. It's nice. It's undeniably a nice way of doing it. It tastes great. I think it always tastes better to me than doing a standard dab off of like a nail or a banger, like those are called. But all those downsides I had mentioned are still there. But on the whole, I'll still do a review of it one day, and I'll just leave you in suspense. Okay. Time to get... Irwin says, Puff do not worth. Used it 5 times and it's still, and it's off. It still drains the battery. Wait, I thought Rommel was the... I'm so sorry then, man. I thought Rommel was the desert dude. Oh, that was, Oh, maybe it is the same person. My Nazi history is, I guess not too ashamedly quite poor, I guess. You got your SS, your Gestapo. They're all bad people. And I have seen the movie Valkyrie with Tom Cruise. What a weird movie. What a weird time. That's when they had... that was the strange little time where I think Fox had their tiff with their boy, what's his name, from the X-Men movies. The guy who is definitely takes advantage of young men sexually. What is his name? Yeah, Valkyrie, though. Weird movie. It was like, they fired him from X-Men, so he came over and he's like, I'm going to do a different movie, and then he did this movie, Valkyrie, with Tom Cruise, and it kind of bombed, but then it ended up not kind of bombing, and then it's been so totally 100% forgotten. I don't know the last time I'd seen anybody bring up the movie Valkyrie. I was moderately popular at the time, but I just never somehow entered the cultural canon for whatever reason. Maybe because it was only competent. Joanne says, popping in for a minute to say hi. What's your pleasure tonight? I was doing some crumble. Can't remember many of the details. If this lid will tell me. The lid's not going to tell me anything. I can't tell you anything. It's good. It's crumble. Got it from a dispensary. Sorry I can't be of any more help than that. That's about the max amount of specificity I've got. Irwin giving some more advice on the Puffco seems salient and good. And I mean, I don't disagree that, yes, the Puffco is, if you're one of those people that's like religious, you like to like the sort of ritual nature of the cleaning of things and being incredibly diligent about it, this is right up your alley. But if you're like the majority of people and you find that gets draining after a while, you just know that this involves some labor. Okay. Gonzo Baptist says, you made me think about it, and that was my answer. Love to whoever else is stuck in this city. Well, that's a good sentiment, man. I appreciate that. I don't think anybody can argue with that sentiment at all. Mr. HS says, thanks for the truthful advice. My friend said exactly the same. Well, I'm glad to have offered some advice. I hope it's helpful, and I hope you make whatever decision you make is the right one for you. LSD Papa says, just LSD Papa's just saying nice things in chat, which is nice. Everybody's so nice. Joanne says, that was the coolest effing thing I've seen in like forever. Thanks. Always wondered how they worked. You're welcome. Pretty simple, to be honest. It just looks... a lot of the Puffco magic comes in from its space age aesthetic, right? It looks damn cool. You can imagine one of the sexy robots from Blade Runner doing weed out of this with Jared Leto behind them in his Jared Leto ways. Man, Blade Runner, guys, 2040... What was the year that the Blade Runner sequel is? 2042, 21... Whatever year it is. It's really good still. I actually just rewatched it about 7-8 months ago. Something like that. It's fantastic, man. Denny, however you pronounce your last name, I've looked it up, remembered it a half dozen times, forgotten it a half dozen more. You're good, man. And Dune, the Dune movie, if movies do exist still in December, when I think it's scheduled to come out now, I couldn't be more excited for Dune. It's just that cast, that director, it's all exciting. Dune, it's a good book too. Alberto, welcome Alberto, says, I hope you're having a good one, man. I've been feeling a little down because of Kobe, but it's always cool watching your vids. It's a nice vibe. Well, thanks, man. I'm sorry you're still feeling blue about Kobe. I think a lot of people are still feeling down about it. Don't beat yourself up about it, man. It's okay to feel glum or sad about anything. It's especially okay to feel grief. That's totally cool, dude. But I'm glad you're here hanging out with us, and I hope we can cheer you up as best we can. Reinhardt, welcome, Reinhardt, from Long Beach, and King Yeti joining us as well. Welcome, King Yeti. Been a bit. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. We're doing the Puffco finally today. I've got a little bit more in there that I can do. Let's go ahead and fire the oven back up here. Joanne says, which Blade Runner, original or director's cut? Well, I don't remember which of the original Blade Runner cuts is the best. I've seen a couple of them. I liked them all. I don't think I've ever seen the original theatrical cut, but I'm referring to the sequel that came out in October 2017. Is that right? The one with Dreamy McDreamer boat, and Ryan Gosling, directed by the guy who did Arrival and Prisoners and Sicarios. Incredible movie, arguably just as good as the original. But Dune, the guy who did the Blade Runner sequel, is also doing the Dune movie, which I couldn't be more excited for. It's going to be in 2 parts, although the second part is not guaranteed unless the first part is a hit, which I guess in this era means it is very possible that there will only be a half of the Dune saga filmed, unfortunately. But it's... just look at the IMDb to get super excited. Yeah, Dune. I've only ever read Dune, which I've heard is, hey, it's okay, buddy. Yeah, it's okay. Dog is still here, very excited. So I've only ever read the first Dune, never any of the many sequels or spin-offs or whatever, which I've heard is fine. Like most people say, that's, if you're interested, feel free to Wikipedia it. You don't even have to do that. I don't mean to detract from anybody who's a fan of the much larger saga, but I've heard it gets quite bizarro quite quickly. Not that that's a bad thing, but I really enjoyed Dune. I actually read it very recently, and was surprised about so many things. Just so many things about it. In the meantime, before we get to that, Noah says, when you gonna smoke? I thought I just did. And can I have a shout out? Well, there you go. Fur Bear. Welcome, Fur Bear. Thanks for joining us, man. It's always cool to have you. Dune. Back to Dune really quickly. Here, I've never actually seen the David Lynch movies. I don't give a shit about David Lynch. Fuck David Lynch, whatever. But, so I've never had any desire to see what is known as a terrible adaptation, because the people who do seek it out are because, like, oh, David Lynch did this, I'll watch it because of that. But that's actually strikes against it in my book. So I didn't really know, I only knew it was about, desert world and politics and, like, worms, giant worms. That's what I knew of Dune, basically, that I had absorbed. I won't give any plot spoilers away, but I was so fascinated by, I don't do this really, especially when reading something, but there were just such giant, fundamental, like, I do not understand fundamentally some nature of this universe so completely that it was so befuddling to me that I actually, like, Googled a couple of things to, like, clarify. So they're not spoilers in any way, shape, or form. And they don't seem like it was something that you were supposed to necessarily totally be able to infer, necessarily. Maybe from the later ones. But the most fascinating and fundamental and crazy thing about Dune, and I'm really not going to try to spoil anything from the plot of the movie or the book or anything that is revealed to you, but if you ever do go in the world, will help you understand what is going on. To me, just the most truly interesting, weird thing about Dune, and the most relevant thing, and the thing that makes you all the underlying weirdness, gives it some real context, is the fact that in the universe of Dune, I guess Earth or some Earth-like planet existed, and it had, well, let me back up. There are no computers in Dune. None. It is a sci-fi universe with, like, faster than light travel, but there's no computation of stuff. Like, there's no guidance systems. There's no, like, computerized radar. There's no, it is science fiction on a galactic scale, but using technology that it would be, not foreign to people of the turn of the 20th century in terms of, like, rocketry and, well, I mean, a little bit more advanced than that, but, like, they're not, yes, there's no computing in the Dune universe, which is bizarre because you're reading it and you're just like, how is all this, there's so many questions that you have about why people aren't doing things with computation. But yes, it's a universe where there are no computers, because in the world of Dune, the world Earth, I guess, was destroyed by an AI uprising. The world had great technology and built a lot of AI, and the AI eventually rose against the people, and there's a great war, and the people eventually won the fight against the AI, and then as a result, all artificial intelligence of any kind was banned. But that wasn't going to stop Earthlings from wanting to see everywhere. So this is slightly more of a spoiler in that it does talk about one particular aspect that is in a book, but this specific thing is never addressed. So the way it all works is in the Dune universe, all of the stuff that would have to be done on computers is done by people, essentially human beings, that have had their brains radically enhanced by this drug called spice that allows them to do these insane computational equations to have some kind of FTL system without the need of computers by taking a drug. It's weird, it's wild, it's so fascinating, kind of trippy, but it is never explained. At least in the original Dune, nowhere. It's like not even subtext. So, I'm sorry. William McRae, welcome, William, says, the book is amazing, like the best sci-fi ever written, Human Computers. You know what I'm talking about, William. It is pretty bizarro. Furbear says, I could never get into Dune. I'm more of an Asimov, Niven, Clark, Bryn kind of guy. Well, Furbear, I don't know if anybody was watching yesterday, but as we closed our live stream yesterday, we closed it with a reading of a sci-fi short story. It was fun. I really enjoyed doing it. Again, I'm not sure how many people enjoyed it or hated it or whatever, but it would be fun to do something like that again if whatever the publisher, if Knopf doesn't come for me for taking their copyright, which I apologize for and not trying to monetize Knopf. All money you can have. William McRae says, only the first book is good. Heinlein is good too. Does it tell you much about Duncan, Idaho? Well, the first book doesn't have a whole lot of... I don't want to get into spoilers. But I'm pretty sure Josh Brolin is Duncan, Idaho in the movie, maybe? Is that right? Is it J.J. Brobro? What a name, Duncan, Idaho. How cool. Joanne says, okay, I got to read the books again. Joanne, I don't know if that's necessarily true. That is not an endorsement. I really enjoyed Dune. My experience with Dune, did it recently, but it is not the first thing I would tell people to rush out to read, especially if they've already encountered it. There's plenty of great genre fiction, sci-fi. There's plenty of great literary fiction. There's plenty of great nonfiction. But if you're like, Dune, this sounds amazing, I need to go back and check this out again. Sean, welcome Sean, says, hey man, how tall are you? Very curious, Sean. I'm going to take that as a really good sign. I don't know of what, but that I'm on my way, because that is one of the questions that you inevitably get asked, that everybody inevitably gets asked at some point who has been exposed to enough people. It's just there are enough people that are so curious about how tall somebody is, that with enough exposure, somebody's eventually going to ask. I take no offense at all that you ask. It's absolutely not hidden and not weird about my height. But before I answer, do you mind, Sean, if I ask you why you care? That is not a judgmental thing in any way, shape, or form. I am just genuinely curious why you have curiosity about how tall I am. Just curious. If you don't want to share, you don't even have to. I'll still tell you how tall I am. Mighty Man America, welcome Mighty Man, says, cheers, brother. Well, welcome Mighty Man. Cheers to you as well. Joanne states, I loved it when I read it when I was much younger. Be fun to go back and revisit. There have been so many. I have made intentionality in my life not to be nostalgic. I don't make a lot of intentionality in my life, but one of the things that I have made a lot of purpose and intentionality around is not cultivating a sense. This is, again, I don't want to in any way, shape, or form sound like I'm judging, not at all. But I tend to be always forward-looking, consciously, and do my best not to be wistful, and to I do not like the feeling of nostalgia, and I try not to do things to like cultivate that sense. I usually almost always prefer to try, I don't know, would go for a new experience or something, something with some novelty, I guess. That's redundant, but with what I just said. I have no idea why I made that very elaborate point, is to say, like, don't necessarily think because it was something that you enjoyed as a child that you will enjoy it as an adult. And nostalgia isn't necessarily always... nostalgia can be a trap, man. It can be a trap for a lot of people. I saw it with people I grew up with. That I'm not suggesting this is you any way, shape, or form. Just a fun topic to talk about. I apologize for making this tangent, but yeah, I do think people can get in this trap of, revisionist history, and there are all kinds of reasons for the nostalgia to be appealing, but it can be a vice on you. Like it can put blinders on you and prevent you from finding from seeking enjoyment in new things. At least that's the impression that I had been given about nostalgia and why to avoid it. But I apologize for sort of putting all that on you when you put none of that out there. Furbear says, if you want an awesome standalone novel with interesting idea, David Brin's Kiln People. It's about a society where people can make copies of themselves that last 24 hours. So they're out there sculpting and then throwing their bodies in the oven, let them get baked up, and they last 24 hours before they poof out. That's an interesting concept. Never heard of it before. Kiln People. What a evocative title. Yeah, and what a fun concept to play with. Having a copy of yourselves for 24 hours. Furbear, what does that do? Are you legally responsible for the action of your copy? Because, oh man, yeah, there are a lot of things you could play with. That is a cool idea. Furbear says, yeah, and yes, it's obvious that a copy is a copy. Gotcha. Okay, so that takes out that whole element of, like, are these replacements, are these doubles? Everybody knows that this is a total double or copy of you. That there is another original you. Interesting. William says, how long did it take the tincture you reviewed to make you high? I had 3 drops 30 minutes ago and nothing. Well, William, did you do it sublingually under your tongue, or did you just do it, basically, did you just sort of swallow it, or did you mix it in something? That can have an effect. And then, of course, tolerance is going to be a big part of any of these things. 3 drops. Well, 3 drops of what exactly? How strong is the tincture you're taking? If it's a 1 fluid ounce tincture that's 500 milligrams, 3 drops is probably considerable amount of THC. But if it's like an 8 ounce thing, a scissor, 3 drops is not so much. Sean says, I just like your vids and I'm really bored right now and high as fuck. Well, thanks for the honesty, Sean. I really appreciate it. I am 5'11", 5'10" or 5'11". No, 5'10". I'm 5'10". And I used to be. I do not see. Oh, that sounds so conceited and so absolutely stereotype. I don't see height, but I don't like. I don't. I'm just like the exact average of height. I don't notice. I notice like the 4 standard deviations up or down, but other than that, man, I'm not a particular like. Height isn't a big thing for me, which is I'm lucky. I actually, well, I have 2 brothers, both who are quite a bit taller than I am. Both are well over 6 feet tall, but I was actually incredibly short until I was basically in high school, and even then, I just did not grow. I basically grew all at once, like in one all spurt chunk. There was a large point in my life where when you would like line up for class pictures, oh God, what an awful ritual that was. And you'd like line up by height. I would be the always the shortest boy in somewhere in the mid pack of the girls in terms of height. And then just I wasn't anymore. Now that sounds like a lot of talk about height for somebody who claims to have no hang-ups about height, but I do. I don't. I mean, I don't have any hang-ups. I'm not sure if I had been 5'5", if that might be different. I don't really feel like it would. I grew up in a very specific situation where height was very incredibly important to some people around me, like incredibly important, but I also knew that those same people were insane and stupid, and I wasn't listening to them then. So yeah, 5'10" is a long answer, but height, not a big deal to me. Maybe because right at average, and I can say that at a privileged position. I understand that's probably true. But a lot of people are very incredibly hung up on it. It's, excuse me, actually really very sad. People's hang-ups with height. If you look up a lot of depressing stats on dating websites about correlating between height and ability to find a match on different sites and all kinds of things. There is I guess I can understand why there is a cultural hang-up about height, because there is a cultural hang-up about height, because when you anonymize people, they, I guess, really do disqualify people based on an arbitrary metric like that, which is just gobsmacking. But it is true. So, dating, man. I know I've talked about this on a live stream before, but this was one of those incredible revelations that's like, oh shit, right, yeah. Oh, that just seems wrong when I heard it explained to me. About the perniciousness of the dating, the online dating world, and the sort of economics of it. It's actually it's a totally, I mean, like so many things are in a capitalistic system, it's quite, the incentives are totally perverse. The incentives are backwards for everybody. It's totally backwards. Oh my God, Eric. Thank you again, man. Eric, that's so incredibly kind, dude. Oh my God. Dab for Eric. Just 1 second. Dab for you again, my friend. That is so very generous. You too, Eric. Thanks so much, man. I'll get that dab for you. I totally forgot what I was just talking about. Something metrics. Wow. Totally just out the brain. If anybody remembers what I was talking about and they're curious to, if they want to go back to it, just remind me. I'll get back to it. I'm sure I'll figure it out at some point. But the good news is that means I can get back to dabbing. I was talking about the economics of dating apps. Yes. Really quick, before I do this dab, the perversity of the incentives in dating apps, and that is, the majority of them make money via subscriptions, and that the idea of a business willingly sort of severing themselves from a subscription income source from somebody is the most stupid thing you can do. So what dating websites are incentivized to do in an economic sense is not find you a mate for the rest of your life, but is to really keep you addicted to that app and experience through gamification of the app, through different gating structures on communication, using all kinds of ways of not doing everything in your power to make the most compatible match, but doing everything in your power to keep people addicted to that experience. And that is exactly what is happening. The dating apps are getting less successful over time, but they're also making more money than ever in terms of finding, permanent matches. It's because the incentive structure is aligned in such a way as to not to actively discourage your clients, your customers, from finding matches, because that is your revenue. That is your business model is built upon that. And it's really kind of sad when you think about it, but also I've never used a dating app. I don't know. I just know them from pop culture, but they sound fun, right? Like Tinder sounds like a fun thing to do. So it's, it's just a sad loop of exploitation, I guess. But I hope it works out for anybody who is in the game, but I think the cards are, the deck is stacked against you pretty well there. Okay, I'm going to do a couple of chats, then I'm going to do my boy Eric's Here's Dab. Furbear says, I forgot to mention if the original wants to inload the experience of a copy, they can, or they can choose to not to if you've been made to copy any. Referring to the book that he was talking about earlier, the fascinating sounding Kiln People. I'll have to add that to the Amazon wish list, Furbear. Again, appreciate the recommendation, man. Dathy, sorry I'm butchering it again. Welcome back. Glad you're here. Says, Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. Check it out. This man knows his philosophy. William says, Under the Tongue at 500 milligrams. William, maybe double what you've done. Keep it under your tongue for, greatly diminishing effects after about a minute or so, but, longer if you want. Hopefully you'll feel something soon. I'm curious what brand tincture you have as well, William. How well it's working for you. Dathy says, Randy Newman's song Short People says it all. I haven't heard it, but I know Randy Newman's music, so I assume it's wry, ironic, and kind of sad. CX says, Cheers, I'm about to take a bomb rip, and I'm high as hell. I forgot what you was saying. Me too, man. I forgot what I had been saying too, but I'm finally here to that rip that I promised Eric. Thank you again, Eric. That's very incredibly generous of you. Let us dab. Furbear's got the Steezy Skywalker OG. I've got a Steezy Strawberry Cough somewhere in this room. Disposable that I'm reviewing. Excuse me. Hello, Newt. Dog is staring at me. Small one. But very much staring at me. It's really creeping me out. Took my Great Dane to the vet on Monday morning. She is almost 8 years old now, which is, Great Danes generally have a lifespan of 5 to 8 years. My Dane is 8, but for superstitions I don't believe in. She is still remarkably healthy, doing great. Nothing incredibly big to worry about, so dog health doing good. Thought I'd update you. I do have to scoop up some of her shit at some point, though. So, you win some, you lose some. Eric, this is for you. Thank you again, Eric. Really appreciate it, man. Furbear says, good to hear the pups are doing well. Yeah, it is a big relief. It is nice to know they've all been to the vet now since the pandemic, and everybody's healthy. But still getting old. I think all of the dogs have been in the videos enough now to bring up somewhat freely a conversation. Rudely, because nobody likes hearing about people's dogs. Except me. God, such a smug asshole I am. I do actually like listening to stories about people's dogs. I actually also like, maybe it's because I'm still young and many of my friends are just now starting to have children in the past, 3 or 4 years. But I also like listening to people talk about their children. I enjoy that quite a bit too. I like listening to people talk about things as long as they are genuinely interested in the thing that they are talking about, and can convey that information in a way that I can understand it. Yeah, I think people are usually pretty interesting. I like oddballs and weirdos too. Love to have some on one day. Thank you one last time to Eric. Very generous of you, and hope you join us again in the future, man. And let me go ahead and load up our Puffco here. So, there we go. Really interestingly, I have talked to done some interviews with some folks recently. A couple of you guys have asked to talk to me recently, which has been a lot of fun. If anybody is out there who has chatted with me or wanted to talk about whatever, it's been cool hanging out with you. That's been nice. A lot of stuff in preparation for other interviews and things. I cannot mention it without, maybe I'll try to get some kind of permission, but in a very incredibly exciting bit of development, I was, for the past like 5 weeks, got to speak to a journalist that I really like and respect, about a topic about, we'll say, internet culture, and did a bunch of interviews for a book that this person is writing, and it was a lot of fun, and I hope I can share more about it soon, but it was probably a long time before these things actually come out, but it was really cool. Hope to do it again in the future. Furbear says, what is it that you are dabbing? I literally do not remember, Furbear. Oh, it's lime pie cross something. I don't, it does, and it really does have a lime taste to it, that acidic tart taste of lime. It's good, quite good, but I don't remember what it's crossed with. It's just like lime, key lime, no wait, what did I say? Key lime pie, key lime pie cross something. And it's good. It's, as you can tell, it's quite potent. I've only done like 3 dabs and 2 Puffco sessions, and I am very high. Working on a review right now as well, so that also explains some of it, but wow. It's been a blast in more ways than one. Speaking of, let's go ahead and do some more Puffco here. Let's get it preheated. Percolating. And we will use our Puffco here, our final Puffco session, to wrap up our conversation for the evening, and make plans for what's to come next. Jack Forth. Hello and welcome. Excuse me. I'll get to your question just 1 second. Okay. Jack Forth, welcome by the way, asks, can I review Smokies gummies? Vegan, gluten-free. I'm not sure which one I have, if it's vegan and gluten-free, but I do have some Smokies gummies in the stack, the 2 review stack, which is actually quite large at this point. For you, I'll prioritize Smokies. I'll push them up the pile. But I don't know how long it'll be before the review comes out. It'll take probably a couple of weeks at least to get through what is still in the backlog. But I'll try to get it out, expedite it at some point. I'll definitely move it up the review pile, and I hope to have it out real soon, man. But can't guarantee anything. Editor's real strict around here. The editor's real strict. Well, you are welcome, Jack Forth. Happy to. They sound great. I know they have their fans too. Smokies, and Smokies was the name of the minor league baseball team from the area in which I grew up. Sevierville, Tennessee had a baseball team. Smokies baseball. They were a minor league baseball team that was close to the Smoky Mountains. I think they used, I guess, Pigeon Forge, which we had talked about recently. Pigeon Forge, who thought would have come up this many times? A big tourist trap. Branson of the Southeast, Pigeon Forge. Who would like it? Beef 99. Well, thanks for the subscription, Beef 99. Really appreciate it, man. Wherever you're subscribing from, really appreciate that. I have not been able to figure out why I can't get all of my chat to work across all the platforms. I see it's not even coming up here correctly. I forgot to even pull it up. Fur Bear says, cement shoes is like a brick to the back of the head. Ooh. Oh, the butter you are doing by House Brand hits hard. That hard, eh? Hard enough to put you under. Hopefully not so violently. Orochimaru 666 says, hey, what's up, bud? I'm on break at work. Well, thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate you joining us from your work. Sorry I butchered your name. Joanne says, the online place I order from just got shroom gummies in, and I am deeply intrigued. Have you tried them? No, Joanne. Is this online place you order from? What? Is it a shop that has legal bona fides, or is this some kind of new venture I'm not aware of? I'm curious about the how they're doing it. Would love to know. I would love to try them. And Beef 99, which is, what a great name, Beef 99. Beef, I mean, it could be Beef 100, but no, happy with Beef 99. That is a man, Beef 99 says, I am not greedy. Says, there is no avariceness of greed, lust in me. I'm a good, solid man. I'm content with 99 beefs. And not gonna. Nobody should. I mean, I think you were sort of begging it by naming yourself Beef 99. No, that's not true. I got 99 beefs. How many beefs did Martin Luther have when he was theses? Was it 99 theses? He's got 99 theses, but something ain't one. Martin Luther, how many theses did he have? He had a lot. He had a lot to say, that guy. He had a lot. He had a whole fucking Reformation to start. And he had a lot of grade school children to confuse. Not about his ideology, but about the color of his skin and the time period in which he took place. I know I can't be the only 6-year-old, or when I first encountered Martin Luther, not King Jr. or King, and was like, wait a second, what? He's alive when? He's nailing what? I thought he was having dreams. But Martin Luther, good on you, man. You did it. Without you, we wouldn't be here today. Either one of you, King, Junior, or OG. But OG, you're actually a piece of shit because you had a lot of shitty views too. I mean, we can all hate Catholics, right? I mean, it's easy to hate Catholics, believe me. But you got to back it up with other than being a huge piece of shit yourself. And then that one, you draw a little short. Beef99, again, thank you for joining us from Clearwater, Florida. Is Clearwater a panhandle city? Gulf? Aiden Jordan, well, thank you so much, Aiden Jordan. That's so kind of you. That's incredibly, incredibly generous of you as well. Holy shit. Oh my God, I feel so humbled. Seriously, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's our tradition now. Well, you also, Aiden Jordan, are going to get a dab in your honor. That's incredibly kind and generous of you. Thank you again. Dab for you in just a moment. Before we wrap up for the evening, which I'm sorry for. Okay. Joanne says, and again, thank you, Aiden Jordan. And I appreciate the sentiment as well. That's also very kind of you. So Joanne gets there, or found those mushroom gummies in British Columbia. Yes. Oh, and Joanne, absolutely. Feel free to, yeah, you can absolutely save for them. That's totally cool. No problem with that whatsoever. Thank you for asking. That's really thoughtful of you to ask. That's very thoughtful. But I have no problem with you saying their name. Yeah, I'm guessing that is a distinction between here and the, Canada. The U.S. only has a very select number of areas that have taken any kind of steps towards even decriminalization of mushrooms, psilocybin mushrooms, or other hallucinogens, like Denver, the state of Oregon, not just Portland, I think the whole state, maybe somewhere else, and some other people are working on it, but we've got a long way to go here. I will, the moment that they are legally available, I will be the first one in line to try. I find the research, the psychiatric research into psychedelics so optimistic, especially. We could use all kinds of optimism right now, even if it's optimism in a spore. But I'm not referring to the feeling it gives you, but the feeling it gives people who are no longer in any way, shape, or form able to feel optimism. The psychiatric benefits, it seems, of psychedelics are at this point irrefutable. The degrees to what they are and the groups that they can help and in what ways they can help, that is obviously still all up in the air. But there is enough research. The body of research is big enough at this point that anybody can say with psychedelics, especially psilocybin mushrooms and LSD in particular. Also MDMA to a large degree, but that's kind of outside of this for now. But those two, in very specifically, there is a robust body of evidence that says it can help with depression and anxiety, grief, and I think, and in the one of the best books of, was it 2019 when it came out? How We Decide, Michael Pollan, great book about, incredible book that came out, I think it was last year, basically about a guy exploring the idea of bringing back psychedelics for psychiatric benefit, exploring them himself, actually trying them. Very respected Berkeley professor, the guy who wrote the book, comes to the conclusion, also shares the profound body of research. Well, profound's exaggerating, but the robust, as I said, body of research that says, hey, there's something here. And the most encouraging of all of the things that he brings up in his book, How We Decide, again is the title, is that it helps people deal with their sense of existential dread. Like the studies where people who have terminal illnesses, who have been given courses of LSD, and also intense coaching as they were going through it. This is something that I think a lot of people miss when talking about using psychedelics for psychiatric benefit, is all of the research that is out there that shows all of these benefits to people with these afflictions that I had just mentioned. In almost all scenarios, it's with a coach, somebody who has been coached to help somebody come to basically a therapist, not a very intensive sense of therapy, a guide, but that sounds shamanistic, but a trained therapist who is there to help keep you somewhat focused while you are tripping balls. So would love to try it. That was a very long answer to your question, Joanne. Thank you. Aiden, I still owe you a dab long answer. And you are correct about all those things you said, Maro666. I am high as hell. As harmful as I'm sure any smoke in your lungs is. Okay, let's do this dab before we all have to say Auf Wiedersehen for the evening. Trying to see if I can read any chat here. My eyes are starting to go. Speed Green says they have a great selection of edibles as well. Found some. Ooh, those are high dose edibles. 1,250 milligrams. Gummies, ganja brand there that I love. That sounds amazing. And we have here, Joanne, as well, caps on the potency of edibles. If it's anything that is like a baked good or a candy, anything of that nature, 100 milligrams. You can see how badly I've done at cleaning this. It keeps like sparking. 100 milligrams, and it has to be divided into at least 10 servings. So we have these restrictions that you don't, which I am so jealous about. And now you have shroom gummies. Canada, man. Any American who's ever talked shit about you guys, or any of us that have ever looked at you smugly, or you know, had our sense of American exceptionalism and rubbed it in your face, shame on us, man. Americans are just the prototypicals of bullies of Canada forever. I mean like bullies in the real sense, in that like they would make fun of Canada because we're all a bunch of insecure assholes, and we're actually also secretly jealous of all the cool shit that you guys have there in Canada that we can never get or make work here. And we're all also just like any good tribalist, we're really pissed that you guys are happy. It makes us so goddamn mad in America that you're happy, and we're just so jealous. So we make jokes about you. I don't know. It's a theory. Okay. Speed round through chat. Thank you again, Aiden. That one was for you. I forgot to say all of that during the process. My total bad, but that was absolutely for you, Aiden. I appreciate it again. Okay. Furbear says, lucky you, in California legal... Oh, there's what I was talking about. Beef99 says, I'm diagnosed... I hope you don't mind if I read this out loud. Beef99, I am not sure of any teas specifically designed for that kind of usage. I mean, I know of some weed teas that, you know, are THC CBD blends that may help, that people who have that, you know, people swear by, but I don't know of anything specifically, unfortunately. But I hope you do find something, Beef, that can help, because that sounds not so fun, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm just trying to rack my brain if I know of anything specifically. I would say Beef99. I mean, I am not a CBD user myself, but you may want to look at people who are way more educated about CBD, because I know CBD, at least from reputation, is can have a lot of benefits with different mental disabilities of various kinds. So you might want to look into them. I'm afraid I'm just not educated enough, and I don't want to give you any bad advice. And I apologize for that, man. Tryhard says, am I in a Zoom class? Maybe. It'd be a weird class, but it'd be probably... I'd be probably a easy A, I think. Homework's due by the end of class, and all the material we covered today will be on the test on Friday. So be prepared, because all of the material that we've covered on the quizzes is also going to be on that same test. Joanne says, I'm working on tinctures specifically for microdosing, THC, CBD, and shrooms, using little spray bottles for sublingual dosing. Well, I hope it's going well for you, Joanne. I know a lot of people have success with all of those substances and LSD in their microdosing endeavors. I wish you the best, and I hope it goes well for you. Furbear says, Beef99, you may want to look into a substance called L-theanine. L-theanine. I know the substance that of he speaks. It's an extract from green tea, and it's kind of a yin-yang thing with caffeine. Extremely safe, by the way. Yes, I have heard that as a thing for people who get anxiety from stimulants. Material, that substance, as a good remedy. So I really appreciate that suggestion, Furbear. And Beef99, you may want to take a look at that. That's a great suggestion from Furbear. Thanks again. Joanne says, Furbear, 100 milligrams, that's it? Wow, I knew Wheats did 100 milligrams as a base dose, but I had no idea geez, now I want to send you some. That would be much appreciated, but don't worry about it. Don't want to get anybody in any trouble with any postal service, especially not across any state lines. A very generous offer. But yes, we're backwards here in California. This is it'll be, I think it was the end of 2017 was when the switchover was. So before that was the Wild West of edibles, and it was the glory days. I loved it. That's when Wheats was first formed. That's actually Wheats. We pivoted. The original, catalyst, the inspiring thing for Wheats was how terrible the edible market was. Everybody was being disingenuous with how strong their products were, and prices were all over the place. But there were a lot of big products. So I was like, well, I don't see anybody out there really collecting this kind of stuff, so I will just start eating pot edibles on YouTube, a thing I love to do, and then would tell people on camera how high they made me. Literally because I got tired of being ripped off so many times with edibles. That's it. It was just like, damn it, this sucks. I'll do what any good millennial will do. I'll bitch about it online. And look at us now. Aiden Jordan says, no problem, man. Thanks for the great vids. You're very welcome, Aiden. Thank you again. Joanne says, Fur Bear, is it legal to make your own? Like, that never stopped anyone. And Fur Bear, again, dropping the knowledge bombs as ever. Fur Bear, incredibly bright individual, says, one can make whatever one wants within possession limits, but one can't legally sell in a dispensary an edible in excess of the regulations. Again, Fur Bear knocks it out of the park. That's exactly correct. So Joanne says that there is some malarkey going on in the edible or the markets and dispensaries there as well. It's probably growing pains. Hopefully they don't overcorrect like they did here, because they absolutely did. They overcorrected. We're all still, unfortunately, I'm not saying suffering, but, it's not as fun as it once was. But, well, hopefully one day we'll get back. I don't think so. It doesn't seem like anybody's that urgently trying to change it, but dare to dream. And with that, guys, that is going to do it for this stream. This has been a blast. It's been so fun hanging out with everybody today. Yeah, I've had a really good time. Voice is still a little shot. I still cannot believe how slow my voice is to get better, but or to build up the duration I used to have. But we'll get there. We'll get there. It's been a blast. A new review out tomorrow. There is a premiere on it. I probably will be live streaming something after that. Maybe just a hangout. Maybe some Civ. Maybe I'll read something. Who knows? But I hope to see a lot of you guys for that premiere and the live stream that will hopefully follow. If it doesn't, I'll let you know. Anyways, great to see you as well, Fur Bear. Later, Joanne. Later, Aiden. Nice talking to everybody. My dog is getting really excited because she knows that means I'm about to be done. This voice. Goodbye, everybody. You can hear her. She's that excited. She knows that voice.